Good morning to respected faculty, dignitaries, and all dear students on this online platform. I'm Alta, Assistant Professor from Department of Pharmaceutics, Vishnu Institute of Pharmaceutical Education and Research. It is my pleasure to welcome everyone on behalf of Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, UBA cell of Viper, to this webinar on National Education Policy. Now, I would like to request Mrs. Bhavani ma'am to speak about the UBA activities under our college. Ma'am, over to
Thank you.
you.
Thank you, Alta. Good morning to all. It's my pleasure to introduce about Viper and UBA activities. Viper has established in the year 2007 by our former president Dr. Abdul Kalam Garu. Viper is a vision of our chairman Sir K. Vishnuraju Garu to serve the society. Viper is voluntarily joined into this UBA program. UBA is a flagship program of MHRD IIT Delhi. We have associated with UBA program to serve the society needs such as food, health, employment and education to promote the rural development activities. Viper along with UBA is a much needed and highly challenging initiative in this direction. Under this program, we have adopted 5 villages surrounding Nasapur. We have conducted household surveys. During this survey, we have observed the basic amenities of the village. And we have also created employment by providing training to the jute bags making and cultivation of superfood spirulina. And also we have conducted cancer awareness camp in the schools of different villages. With these few words, I would like to conclude and I'm going to hand over to the session to Alda.
Thank you, ma'am. Now, I request our principal sir, Dr. A. Ramesh sir, to address the gathering about today's webinar.
Good morning, dear delegates, my dear colleagues, and above all, the guru of my life, Mr. Nageshwar sir, who has personally taught me right from 5th or 6th class till my intermediate, and I still remember the good old days, and he will still remember the naughty things which I have done, and I still remember you, sir. Even at the tuitions, you used to pinch me, right? I think, and it's a time for us to get back to you after a long time, and it's our pleasure to have you on this platform. And thank you so much for accepting the invitation at a very short notice. It's indeed a pleasure to have you with us, and we all our friends have got lot of memories with you, and I think it's our proud privilege also as a guru to me, and the other way as an educationalist. You are the mentor for us for carving us and making us learn, and today we all are in these positions because of your guidance. So thank you so much, sir, for your acceptance, and it's indeed our great pleasure to have you. And I wish that many of the students of you got settled at very big platforms, and I think it's a time for us also to ensure, and we also expect my own students to reach such a great positions and contribute back to the society. So I personally want to thank you, sir, so much for your affection towards us and accepting us. As you know, this Unnat Bharat Abhiyan is a wonderful event initiated by Government of India, New Delhi, and we are proud to say that we are the only pharmacy college which is shortlisted in entire India in the top 100 colleges which were recently awarded. And we are also happy to say that a team of us, particularly led by Dr. Vanita, who unfortunately lost her father, and she's not with us now, but she's a leader of this UBA team, along with Bhavani, Ramanjelu, Alta, and all these uh, Natser, and all of them have formed a team, and they are going to each and every rural place. They are going to the collector, and they are ensuring that they can bring about a change in the surrounding. And this is one such initiative. And rightly, we choose the topic, the evolution which is going to happen after independence, and I'm very happy to learn something from this. Although we heard few things, but still we did not get complete clarity on it. But I think after your message, we are sure that we as educationalists also will understand fully regarding this education new policy. Thank you so much, sir. And over to you, Al.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, madam.
Now let me introduce about our chief speaker, Sri N. Nageshwar Rao, sir. Sir is working as headmaster in Kendriya Vidyalaya Air Force Station, Hakimpet. He has completed his BSc in Physics, Chemistry and Geology and completed MSc in Chemistry and B.Ed in English, Physical Sciences. Sir, 6 years in BVB International Residential Public School in Bhimavaram and 7 years in KVS as headmaster. With an experience of 33 years, Sir worked as principal in charge for various Kendriya Vidyalayas. He has taken several steps to improve the quality of teaching, like implementing activity-based education, innovation and experimentation, effective communication skills, and expertise in content and methodology. Sir was awarded with KVS Regional Incentive Award in 2019 from Deputy Commissioner KVS Hyderabad Region for outstanding contribution in education and in administration. With this introduction, I request our Chief Speaker, sir, to take over the session. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. So, thank you. First of all, I'm very much thankful to my beloved student, Mr. Ramesh, principal of Viper, and his staff and management of Viper for giving me this beautiful opportunity to interact with you on this platform. Thank you one and all. Thank you very much. Am I audible to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Before going to start my speech, Vidya dadati vinayam, vinayad yati patratam, patratvat dhanamapnoti, dhanat dharma tata sukham. Why we have to be educated? That is, Vidya vinay deti hai. Vidya vinay deti hai. विनय से पात्रता, पात्रता से धन, धन से धर्म और धर्म से सुख प्राप्त होता है. We are all getting education to earn money. That is the basic thing. Education not only to improve our knowledge, by the side we have to earn money for our to complete our lifestyle. But because of money, no one will get this sukham. Sukham means that will only through dharma. Because of education, you should know the values, value-based education. Once you have values in your life, then from that only you can get this beautiful life. Okay. Now, before this new education policy, national education policy, education is fundamental for achieving human potential, full human potential, and promoting national development. Okay. The world is undergoing a rapid changes in the knowledge landscape. With the rise of big data, machine learning, and artificial intelligence, many unskilled jobs worldwide may be taken away by machines. Remember that. In this context, it's becoming increasingly important that children not only learn, but learn how to learn. Education must build character. It enables learners to be ethical, rational, compassionate, and caring, while at the same time prepare them for gainful, fulfilling employment. We should not create unemployable students from our institutes. Okay. So up to this present system, the gap between the current state of learning, the outcomes, and what is desirable must be bridged through undertaking major reforms to bring the high quality and integrity into the educational system. From early childhood to that system, it should bring major reforms through from early childhood education through higher education. Today, I'm stand before you to present some important aspects of National Policy of Education 2020 in a nutshell. If you are able to understand this, it is a ground nutshell. If you are unable to understand, it will be a cashew nutshell. It's very, very difficult to break it. So try to understand, because as an educators, it is our prime responsibility to understand the new reforms, whatever the government of India is bringing day to day. Before this, Madam Shashikala, can you present the slides? The first slide. National Education Policy 2020. Recently, our Parliament, the Cabinet, it is approved. Soon it is going to be implemented. Before this, I want to tell you about my institute, Kendriya Vidyalaya. It is one of the topmost branded institute in India. We are having nearly 1240 schools across India. The education is same. Even from Kanyakumari to Kashmir, the same syllabus is followed. Whatever the national education policy is saying, most of the things already we are implementing in our schools. And soon we are going to implement this national education policy in our schools first. First, experimental basis, everything will be introduced in Kendriya Vidyalaya only. In 2019, Right to Education Act, it's given education is a fundamental right to each and everyone. Okay, that's all right. But in 2017, one important change has come. They made some changes in that RTE Act. That is, every child has right to learn competency-based learning. That is more important, CBL, competency-based learning. Instead of teaching hours together, it's no use. Whatever competency is there, competency means the particular we make the child competent to something, some skill. So the competency-based learning, it has main role. Recently, I undergone one training from Zonal Institute of Educational Training from Mumbai, our one of training institute, JIT Mumbai. 5 days we undergone the training on competency-based learning. Okay, that's also will come in this. That is a part of national education policy only. So I will discuss later about this. Now, Madam, next slide. Swami Vivekananda says already, education is the manifestation of the perfection already present in man. You see, as teachers, we think that we are educating so many, but it's not true. I am not educating. Already it is there within the man. Education is something which is there within us. It is just how much we strive for it. and how much we desire to learn something new. For example, you take a seed, just you put in the soil. The seed, first it will become a baby plant. From baby plant, then it will become a small plant. Then it will become a tree. What is the origin of the tree? It is a seed. Already it is there in the seed. Like that, education is also there within the minds of every human being. But as teachers and parents, we are facilitators. I don't say I am a teacher. I am educating everyone. Today, Ramesh is in that position. I don't say that because of me he is like that. No, already it is there within him, the knowledge. But only as facilitators we have to bring it out. How a tree originates from a seed. We are facilitators. I'm saying that now in this 21st century, we are all facilitators. Okay, children are learning many things from their surroundings, from the society. Remember, only 25% only children are learning from the schools and colleges. 75% they are learning from the home, surroundings, from peer groups, from the situations. So many things are because of the child is exposed to many things. Okay, so Swami Vivekananda's words, once again, we have to remember, education is the manifestation of the perfection already present in man. Next slide, please. Here, before going to this national education policy, the best we have to see. Today, we are able to see 2020, but we don't know what happened in 1947. After independence, so many reforms done in the field of education, not only in this field of education, in all the fields, but today we are going to discuss only field of education. So what the policies after independence, here I discuss only a few important one only. That is the first University Education Commission. It focused mainly on the university education. In 1948 to 49, under the leadership of Dr. Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan, our first Vice President of India, his birthday on every September 5th we are celebrating as Teachers' Day. So this second Education Commission in 1952, headed by this Mudaliar Commission. 1 minute. Secondary education headed by this one. It's covering most of this. Do you able to see complete slide? Everyone?
Yes,
Ramesh?
sir, we are able to see, sir. Yes, sir. There's
yeah.
no problems.
Okay. No, here is some, it is covering some of this. Okay. So, it is headed by secondary education, Dr. Mudaliar Commission, Lakshmi Mudaliar Commission. It given recommendations to some reforms in the secondary education. Means here, these commissions are having some focused areas. The next one, next slide. Here, 3 committees you can see. That is National Committee on Women's Education 1958 and Hansa Mehta Committee report in 1962, headed by Hansa Mehta. Bhaktavachalam Committee report in 1963. The first National Committee on Women's Education 1958, chaired by Srimati Durgabai Deshmukh. Okay, our Hyderabadi. Oh, next Hansa Mehta Committee. These 3 committees, they focused on women education. These 3 committees focused on women's education. You know, if a gent is educated, he will be educated. But if a lady is educated, then the entire family will be educated. That is the motive to focus on women's education of these 3 committees. Okay. After this, next 2 more important committees. Madam, next slide. Dr. D.S. Kothari, Daulat Singh Kothari, Commission Report 1964-66. It is major reforms in education. Dr. Daulat Singh Kothari basically emphasized on education for national development, how the education is contributing to the national development. It is main focus area of the Kothari Commission report. The next one, in 1986, new education policy introduced by late Sri Rajiv Gandhi. In 1986, this one, and again it is some amendments done in 1982. That's why it is known as 1986 by 92 education policy. Based on this, so many educational reforms were done. Then after that, then most recent, everybody now you know, that is National Curriculum Framework 2005. Actually, every 5 years, government has to change and change the curriculum and introduce some new concepts in that which are aligned to the present situation. This NCF 2005 entirely changed the curriculum from school education. So it's the main idea of this NCF is knowledge beyond the classroom. Actually, we are teaching everything. For example, if we take a problem, immediately we explain a problem, or we take a concept, we explain the concept and we complete the lesson. No, it is not like that. The knowledge must be connected to the beyond the classroom. That is the main idea of this national curriculum framework. So basing on that, all the textbooks were made in 2005, very complete change in primary education and secondary education in India, based on this NCF. It is chaired by Professor Yashpal. Recently he expired. So after this, after it is 2005, actual national policy on education in 1986. This year is 2020, means after 34 years gap, national education policy introduced. It was chaired by the commission chaired by Dr. Kastur Rangan, a well-known space scientist, okay, educationist and a humanist. So many angles, many versatile genius. His Kastur Rangan, under his chairmanship, this committee submitted its report, and already it is approved by cabinet and the parliament also. Soon it will be implemented. Madam, next slide. Then every education policy is based on some principles. This new education policy of the 21st century and aims to address many growing development imperatives of this country. This policy proposes the revision and the revamping of all aspects of the education structure, including its regulations and governance, to create a new system that is aligned with the aspirational goals of 21st century education, while remaining consistent with India's traditions and value systems. In these principles, a few principles I have taken here. That is flexibility. Flexibility for learners to choose their learning trajectories and programs, and thereby choose their paths in life according to their own talents, interests. Now, in this new national education policy, freedom is given to student. It is child-centered education, not teacher-centered education. We are shifting. There is a major shift in this education system, that is teacher-centered to child-centered. Now, child is having his own choice to choose as basing on his talents or interests. Then he can. Now we can discuss later in next slides. Now, no hard separation between here. In every school, there are curricular and co-curricular activities are there. Curricular means academic, then extracurricular. That is also called co-curricular. So extracurricular activities also there. They are also playing major role in the whole all-round development of a child. Generally, in some schools, you know, morning to evening, techno schools or corporate schools, they talk only about studies. Even third class children, they give IIT coaching also. So it is the concept nowadays. But the repercussions, you know, that when we are forcing such type of curriculum on the child, how he behaves, everything we are observing in present scenario. That's why this new education policy, no hard separations between arts and science, between curricular and extracurricular activities, between vocational and academics, to ensure the integrity, unity in this and among the this. And it is the main motive of this policy, I mean, national education policy is integration of all these activities with academics. Integration of all these academics with Madam, full slide able to see? I am unable to see the full slide here. Hello?
Problem is at your side, sir. Morning also we have seen a black mark.
Okay. No, of the this one is occupied by. Okay, now I am able to see. No problem, madam. Now, do you able to see the full slide now?
Yes, sir. We are at our end. There is no problem.
Okay. No, I thought that some problem is coming. So, everyone, you have to observe this. There is no hard separation between arts, science, between curricular, extracurricular activities, between vocational and academics, to ensure the integrity and unity of knowledge and eliminate harmful hierarchies among the silos between different areas of learning. Multidisciplinary and holistic education. The main policy, the main principle of this national education policy is multidisciplinary and holistic education across the sciences, social sciences, arts, humanities, and sports, all these things. So we will discuss in next slide. Madam, next slide. And it is mainly emphasized on conceptual understanding. Just now I discussed with the conceptual based learning, CVL. So here conceptual understanding is more important. A particular topic if you take up, then it is depending upon assessment process, whether the child able to learn that particular concept properly or not. That is, so a continuous and a comprehensive evaluation will be there, rather than rote learning and learning for exams. Generally, our children, even parents are also promoting this. They are preparing the children for exams. Even recently, when we given admissions for first class children, in that meeting, parents meeting, nearly 120 parents attended that. In that also, we discussed the same thing. I asked the parents, don't force the children to learn as per their wish. Let the child learn. He knows, children knows many things. Even if we ask them many questions, there we will be astonished with their knowledge. So such much that much bright people are children. So don't underestimate the children. Even I told the same to the parents. So don't force them on rote learning. Rote learning it's very harmful. Only some pedagogical concepts we can rote learning is advisable in. Particularly in drilling of rhymes or drilling of tables, such type of their rote learning is okay. But when you are teaching concepts, there it is not advisable. So he has to show his creativity and critical thinking to encourage logical decision making and innovation. On ethics and human constitutional values. What are the constitutional values? We have to imbibe these values while teaching. That is empathy, respect for others, cleanliness, etiquette, courtesy, democratic spirit of service, scientific temper, liberty, responsibility, pluralism, equality, and justice. These are the constitutional values. These should be imbibed while teaching learning process. And on life skills, the most important life skills is communication. Nowadays, lack of this communication only, most of the children are unemployable. They are having knowledge, but unable to express it when it is required. So because of lack of communication. So from school level onwards, communication skills, teamwork, cooperation, okay, and problem solving ability, one of the most important skill. All these skills must be 21st century skills, they are also called. So these skills must be inculcated. Okay, madam, next slide. So the most important point, it is education is a public service and not a commercial activity or a source of profit. Everyone, please remember this. Access to quality education must be considered a fundamental right of every citizen. Substantial investment in a strong, vibrant public education system, as well as the encouragement and facilitation of true philanthropic private participation. Nowadays, the most of the private institutions, we observe, even in the news also, we observe that many are the squeezing the parents. I don't know, for example, you see, when you say first class children, in Kendriya Vidyalayas, it is a government organization. I'm not comparing my Kendriya Vidyalayas with other private organizations, but the actual situation I am explaining to you. In our Kendriya Vidyalayas, we charge only 500 rupees per month. That too, we spend that amount on the welfare of the children. Our salaries and everything will be given by Government of India from the treasury. So this minimum amount, whatever we are collecting, it is called Vidya Vikas Nidhi, VVN. So that amount is spent on the activities, whatever we are doing in the school for the benefit of child, particularly games and sports, scouts, NCC, all these things. Some expenses are required there. So for that only we are collecting that amount also. But if you come to the private institutes, for first class child, they're charging 1 lakh rupees. I don't know what they do with 1 lakh rupees, what type of education they are giving for a first class child. So please think about that. Every one of you should think about this. So education is a public service and not a commercial activity or a source of profit. So please remember this point. It's very, very important point to everyone. Okay, the next slide, madam. Now we come to the point, vision of the national education. Every organization, every human being, that we should have a vision. I can call it as Vision 2020. But in 2020, they introduced this national policy, national education policy. What is the vision of this policy? The first one is an education system that contributes to an equitable and vibrant knowledge society by providing high quality education to all. That is the main aim of this equitable and vibrant knowledge. In this, equitable means here equal, including inclusive education. Everything will be there in this. Each term, it matters in this vision document. Develops a deep sense of respect towards the fundamental rights, duties and constitutional values, bonding with one's country, and a conscious awareness of one's role and responsibilities in changing world. Everyone, why we are studying? What is the vision of this national education policy? The first one develops a sense of respect towards the fundamental rights. See, nowadays, these human rights are violated. Fundamental rights are violated. Duties and constitutional values. Okay, we are not giving respect to the constitutional value. I mean, constitutional things, whatever proposed by our ancestors in that. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar and his team, whatever it proposed in that, now we are not giving proper values. Bonding with one's country. So it is Desh Bhakti, patriotism. Everything we have to inculcate with this national. It is also there, but due to this, we are learning some unnecessary things from the Western world. That is the main thing why our education system is not coming up to the mark, because of our education system is so strong. You know, in history, Takshashila, Nalanda, great institutes were there in Indian history. Even in our Kendriya Vidyalaya, whenever we are singing the prayer, Takshashila Nalanda ka itihas lautakar layega, we will bring the charismatic process of Kendriya Vidya, I mean Navodayas, I mean Takshashila and Nalandaka. We are having a great culture, but only thing is we are forgetting. Okay, and the another important vision point is instill skills values and dispositions that support responsible commitment to human rights, sustainable development and living and global well-being, thereby reflecting a truly global citizen. Now everyone is a global citizen, uh, not only citizen of India. For example, if you take many people from India, they chaired most important organizations, CEOs there. Okay. Hello. 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 Is coming, Ramesh?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yeah,
But
we are audible, sir.
only PPT, it's not there. That slide.
It's there,
Sir,
sir.
is it? It is there, sir. I think some network
It is there.
problem at your end. Yes, sir.
It's there. Okay, just 1 minute.
You can give it at a glimpse, sir. Or
Okay, no problem, no problem.
no problem.
No problem.
Share it.
I can.
Shall I
Um,
change
uh,
the?
no problem, madam. Just I will continue. I will continue. Okay.
Okay, sir.
You are able to see now.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. The third point is very important. Instill skills, values, and dispositions that support responsible commitment to human rights, sustainable development, and living global well-being, thereby reflecting a truly global citizens. Everyone should be a global citizen because nowadays there is no distance. Once upon a time in 1970s, if you want to talk to a person who is staying in America, it used to take nearly hours together to wait for his call. Nowadays, it's in 1 second. In 1 second, you can speak to the people, those who are other side of the globe. So, because of the technical know-how and technical knowledge, the whole globe is becoming a village, and we are a very small particle in that. Even because of our knowledge is making us a global citizen in that. Okay, the next one, school education. The national policy of education, not only school education, from school education to higher education. I am going to discuss about this school education to higher education. In the school education, the first step is early childhood care and education will be established. That is more important. Previously, even in our Kendriya Vidyalayas, our classes, it starts from first class to 12th class. But in this, the complete scenario changed under this policy. First, it starts with the pre-primary education. Now we know that it is LKG and UKG. Actually, before that also, in rural villages like that, there they join the children in Anganwadi centers. So Anganwadi centers will be strengthened with high quality infrastructure, play equipment, and well-trained Anganwadi workers teacher. These are the main points in this national policy on education. So they are going to implement all this. Education training of the Anganwadi workers, teachers will be mentored by the cluster resource centers of the school education department, who shall have at least one monthly contact class with the Anganwadi teachers. It's going on even in our schools also. The meeting with the primary teachers, how they are teaching, all this. Even in our institutes also, every month the revision will go on like that under the cluster resource center. Cluster means some schools, some Anganwadis in particular region, it will become a cluster. Okay, that will be headed by and observed by education department. All school children shall undergo regular health checkups. It is there, even we are implementing it, organized by the schools, and for this health cards will be given, issued to them. Okay, another one is many children are unable to reach many dropouts are there. In Indian education system, we are facing, particularly in primary education, we are facing dropout problems. These dropout problems because of, for example, recent COVID you take. In that, many people, they migrated from one place to another place. Okay, because of that, children, they completely away from the education. So such type of children, okay, will be given chance by open and distance learning, ODL. Program offered by the National Institute of Open Schooling, NIOS, will be expanded and strengthened for meeting the learning needs of young people in India who are not able to attend a physical school. And curriculum and pedagogy in schools. And this is one of the another important point. Learning should be holistic, integrated, inclusive, enjoyable, and engaging. Okay, these are some of the important points in national policy on education. So here the complete structure is changed. Previous now we are having 10+2 system, 1 to 10th class and 11th and 12th. Outside it is called as junior inter and senior inter. In our schools it is called 11th and 12th. So the restructuring school curriculum and pedagogy in a new design. What is that? 5+3+3+4. What is that 5? It is first foundational, first 3 years of preschool grades. First 3 years of preschool means preschool, LKG, UKG. That 3 years and first grade and second grade. These 2 grades. 3 grades and 2 grades, total 5 grades. So that is foundational. After that, next one is preparatory. Preparatory means that is classes 3rd to 5th, 3rd, 4th, 5th. That is another next 3 stages. After that, middle classes. Middle class means grade 6th and 8th. 6th class, 7th class and 8th class. It will come under middle. Then high school, grade 9 to 12. 9th and 10th, one phase. And 11th and 12th, another phase. In this, those who want to exist in after 10th class, they can. Those who can continue, they can join in the next phase, that is 11th and 12th. Okay. Okay, madam. Next slide. Shift towards competency-based learning. Just now, before starting this page, I stressed on this point. Shift towards competency-based learning and education. So, first, the teachers must be trained from each lesson or what concepts they are going to teach. First, they should have an idea and how to teach that particular competency. Nowadays, NCERT derived some learning outcomes in each and every class and each and every subject also, according to grade wise. What are these learning outcomes? At the end of the instruction, what they learned, whether they are competent in that particular competency or not, that is more important. Okay, so shift towards competency-based learning and education. That's what I said in 2007, one amendment done to the Right to Education Act. That is, every child should learn competency-based. Means it is a fundamental right. Every teacher must remember, every educationist must remember that it is the right of the child to learn the things on competency based. Okay. Curriculum content will be reduced in each subject to its core essentials. Instead of unnecessary things, they have to take only competency to make space for critical thinking and more holistic, discovery based, discussion based, and analysis based learning. This type of learning we have to encourage in classrooms. Students will be given increased flexibility and choice of subjects to study, particularly in secondary school, including subjects in physical education, the arts, and vocational crafts. Actually, now, even now also we are having in our KVs, that is out of 5 papers, another 6th paper also the child can select, that is physical education or computer science, like that. Some optional subjects, some vocational also, they are there in the, but it will be compulsory from this policy. Once this policy is implemented, all this will come into force. Madam, next slide. Already we discussed this point. That is, there will be no hard separation among curricular, extracurricular or co-curricular areas, among arts, humanities and sciences, or between vocational or academic streams. So there is no separation, no demarcation between this. Now it will be integrated. It will be integrated with the syllabus in the curriculum. And one more important aspect of this national policy education, the medium of instruction until at least grade 5, but preferably till grade 8 and beyond, will be the home language, mother tongue or local language. You see, most of the civil service officers, most of the brilliant minds in present day India are studied in their mother tongue. Everyone, please remember that. They studied up to their schooling. Some people studied up to 5th class. Some they studied up to 10th class. Some they studied even up to intermediate also in Telugu medium. But we should not underestimate the medium of instruction, because in medium of that home language or mother tongue, child can understand very well the concept. So this is going to implement even from 6th class onwards. They will have 3 language formula. Even Sanskrit also will be introduced. Students whose medium of instruction is the local home language will begin to learn science and mathematics. Once children are acquainted to learn the things in their local language, easily they can understand the concept. Slowly we can introduce it is as bilingual. Bilingual means you start with English also. You start introducing English also as medium of instruction. And particularly mathematics. Mathematics not required much language. So mathematics you can explain in English. Sciences, some topics, even some hard concepts are there, you can explain in Telugu. Later you can explain in English. Like that, slowly we bring them to the bilingual from grade 6, so that by the end of grade 9 they can speak about science and other subjects both in their home language and English. Madam, next. Already I told 3 language formula. Sanskrit will be offered at all levels of schools and higher education as an important enriching option for students. Concerted curricular and pedagogical initiatives, including the introduction of contemporary subjects, that is artificial intelligence, design thinking, holistic health, organic living, etc. relevant stages will be. For example, in Kendriya Vidyalayas, because I am working in this Vidyalayas from last 27 years. That's why every time I take example from my school. That is, recently in our 11th and 12th class, they introduced artificial intelligence as a subject. For that, our computer teachers are trained with Python language. Python language, I think it is more adaptable to this artificial intelligence. So they are learning now, computer science teachers. Next they will convey this to the students in order to that in a different pedagogy. So these subjects, artificial intelligence, design thinking, holistic health, organic living, all these in relevant stages. We cannot explain the artificial intelligence to a 6th class child. So relevant stages we have to undertake to develop various important skills in students at all levels. From 6th class onwards, we have to introduce in a stage wise. Every student will take a 1 year long course. From 6th to 8th, there is one more 1 year they must study hands-on experience. You see, when in 6th class, when we are explaining about a ceiling fan, how a fan works, simply we explain and we show the fan, but not like that. Hands-on experience, you have to take a wall fan and open it and ask them to open and let them analyze what parts are there, how it is rotating, all these things. Hands-on experience is more important. Under a work experience we are having in our schools also. In the same way, but it is a 1 year long course. This year, in months, this national education policy introduced 1 year completely, that is called as a 1 year long course. Okay, so in this, children will learn hands-on experience of a sampling of important vocational crafts such as carpentry, electric work, metal work, gardening, pottery making, etc., as decided by states and local communities. It will be decided by the state governments according to the local needs, okay, by the local communities, and as mapped by local skilling needs. So these are all keeping you, the state governments will decide what type of work they have to introduce in that particular area. Okay, so carpentry, electric work, metal work, gardening, all these will come. These are all vocational crafts. They will be introduced in this new education, national education policy. Okay, madam, next slide. And one more thing is basic training in health, that is health education, including preventive health, mental health, nutrition, personal and public hygiene, and first aid will also be included in the curriculum. These things will be included. And considered efforts will be made by NCERT, SCERT. NCERT is a organization which prescribes curriculum, and basing on that they publish books to us. And the CBSE, Central Board of Secondary Education, it is another organization. All the schools are affiliated to CBSE, and they introduce whatever significant changes brought by Government of India. First they introduce in CBSE schools. After that they will pass on to that. So basing on the changes, NCERT will make textbooks and all, they made syllabus, so that will be implemented. And one more thing, this to significantly reduce the weight of school bags. Actually, from last 10 year onwards, we are implementing this weight of school bags. Every first class child will have only 1 kg of bag. That means not bag weight should be less than 500 grams like that. The books weight also 500 grams. Total 1 kg weight a first class child should have. Okay, like that we have to decrease the burden of the textbooks on the students. So no need to bring the textbooks regularly. Teachers will have some copies. Okay, so once this, even in this pandemic situation, this online education started. Actually, it is a new platform to each and everyone. But from last April onwards, our Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangatans, all the schools are adopted this online education. All the teachers are trained themselves and implementing this. What are the changes? I mean, whatever we are doing in the physical classroom, the same things they are trying to show, like activity-based teaching and all, through this online mode. Okay, because of this also children are very happy. They are at home, no school bags. Okay, the primary purpose of assessment, another one is assessment. Once we do all these things, assessment is more important. Okay, the primary purpose of assessment will indeed be for learning, and the entire schooling system continuously revise teaching learning process to optimize learning and development for all students. Once you are learning means there must be assessment. You see, for a coin, there are two faces. Okay, head and tail. Like this, learning and assessment. There are those are two faces of a coin. When learning takes place, simultaneously we have to do assessment also. Then only that education is fruitful. If not, there is no use of that. Madam, next slide. The current natures of secondary school exams and the resulting coaching culture of today are doing much harm. Already I discussed with the secondary school. You see, the current nature of secondary school exams and the resulting coaching culture of today are doing much harm. Recently, you might have read the newspapers. In the news, that is, some children, they are unable to cope up to prepare for this NEET exam. They committed suicide because of the parents' ambitions are very high. But the children are unable to face that. Even they are unable to face their parents, and they committed suicide. Such type of, every human being is valuable. We have to remember that. Human rights, under human rights, we have to remember every human being is valuable. Every soul is more important. So we have to remember this particular coaching and forcing children to study something, it's not viable. So don't do that. Now that's why they're giving freedom to choose whatever subject they like. Then they can, for example, you take the example of Ramanujam. Ramanujam failed 10th class, but he reached the topmost position in mathematics. Why? Because of his interest in mathematics subject. If Ramanujam's father not allowed him to do only in maths, then we might not get Ramanujam in that position. So that's why my request is, don't pressurize the children. So many Ramanujams are there, in hidden talents are there. We have to bring out the talents. All the students will be allowed to take board exams on up to 2 occasions during any given school year, one main examination and one for improvement. Generally, all the yes, Ramesh.
5 minutes, the YouTube live is going to end, sir. So
okay,
I just
okay,
inform
sure.
you.
Sure. Okay. So all the children 3, 5, and 8, in addition to board examination in grades 10 and 12, some board examinations are there, they have to face. So National Assessment Center for School Education shall be a standard setting body under the Ministry of Education. Now it is not Ministry of Education, now it is Ministry of Education. Previously it is known as Ministry of HRD. Now it is completely removed that name, Ministry of Education. Now they are going to establish National Testing Agency. Only one test for all the I mean, for example, you want to prepare engineering or medicine or whatever it is, you have to select the subject and you have to appear for the National Testing Agency will select you and they will upload your marks, and the concerned universities and institutes will observe that particular child. Okay, then students will be able to choose the subjects that they are interested in having tested, and each university will be able to see the students' individual subject portfolio and admit students. That is another important thing. It is very much useful to you, all the children of this Viper. Okay, topic centered and project based clubs that must be introduced. Okay, maths club or music club, so many things in school level, even in college level also. And teachers. Teacher education also taken some reforms here. 4-year integrated B.Ed program is introduced. Every teacher should write teacher eligibility test. Then only they will be eligible for teacher post. Okay, and next one is teacher will be given more autonomy in choosing finer aspects of pedagogy. In classrooms also, teacher is not compelled to teach one aspect like this. No, teacher can teach on his wish how to introduce the particular concept. Okay, by 2030, the minimum degree qualification for teaching will be a 4-year integrated B.Ed degree. That is also. Okay, now this national policy education main thrust on research. So everyone, I request you, try to do research and try to invent medicines for such type of COVID and all. So that is another important aspect. Even they are funding higher education institutes with a lot of funds. Okay. And one more thing, it is envisioned that over a period of time, all existing higher education institutes and new evolve research intensive. All the HEIs, research universities, teaching universities, and only degree granting colleges. If you want a degree, join in another college. That is the only grant degree. But if you want to do research, join in research universities, like that. Okay, all types of institute, open distance learning, all this gross enrollment provide increased opportunity to lifelong learning. Phasing out this affiliated colleges will be phased out soon. Okay, undergraduate degree will be 3 to 4 year duration. In that the important point is first year, if you suppose you want to exit from first year, will be given a diploma. Suppose if you want to exit at the end of second year, then you will be allowed bachelor degree. I mean professional discipline of field. I mean diploma it will be awarded to you, and after 3 years it will be given bachelor degree. And after 4 years, if you exit, then some research also you have to do in that particular field. Okay, this is, and the MPhil program shall be discontinued from this next year onwards. Okay, model public universities for holistic education, IITs, IIMs. These the best one, we can establish their centers in other countries. Similarly, the best universities can establish their centers in India. Such type of facility also will be given. That we are opening for private universities also. Opportunity for PhD faculty as teaching assistants. Okay. And platforms such as Swayam and Diksha, they are beautiful platforms to learn. So everyone try to register in that, and you can choose important courses in that. Okay, vocational education will be integrated into all educational institutions in a phased manner over the next decade. Okay, then an autonomous body, the National Educational Alliance for Technology, will be created. Okay, to give more priority for the children, those who are with learning disabilities. Okay. Then, sorry, a rich variety of educational software will be developed and made available for students and teachers at all levels. Teaching, learning, e-content will continue to be developed all states in all regional languages, as well as by the NCERT, CBSE, NIOS, and all this. Okay, these are a few points I have taken. It is a 60 pages document recently Government of India released. Everyone please go through that. So you also can get some knowledge about this. Whatever knowledge I have, a little knowledge I shared with you. Okay, I'm very much thankful to this organization for giving me this opportunity, and for you all also for your patience. I am very much thankful to you. Thank you, Ramesh.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay.
Sir, one question I have.
Okay, sure.
How will it impact in the degree, sir, once these are implemented? How will it have its impact in degree courses?
No, in phase-wise implementation will be there. It is first of all, they won't implement at a time. Okay, first from grassroots levels they introduce, slowly they fade out the higher level degrees and all. Up to 10th class, once it reaches 10th class, automatically then they introduce the awarding of degrees also will be changed. Okay, not like
it may buy another more to completely reform.
Not 10 years, not 10 years. School level they implement maximum next year up to 6th standard like that. Within 3 or 4 years it will be.
It will be there.
Okay, it will be. Okay. Thank you, Ramesh. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I think, are there any other questions?
No, sir. All the participants, so they have understood clearly, I think. So they have not posted any questions, sir. If at all, if we get any questions, we will try to contact with you, sir.
Definitely, give my mail address. I can.
Yes, sir.
We
will post your mail ID to the students. If they have any questions, they will post to the mail, sir. So, thank you, sir. So now I would like to propose the vote of thanks. So on behalf of Viper, I take the opportunity to propose the vote of thanks. At the outset, I thank our chief guest and speaker, N. Nageshwar Rao Garu. We are really enlightened with your knowledge, sir, and presence. And also, we can see the happiness of a student feeling in the presence of his or her old teacher. See, we can see that in our principal sir face. So now we are feeling that so we also should get in contact with all our teachers who taught us.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. So for spending your valuable time. And also I would like to thank our principal sir for his enthusiastic support, sir. I use this platform to thank our madam and the coordinator of UBA, Dr. K. Vanita Garu. So thank you so much, madam, for your hard work and making us to participate in all the activities related to UBA. And a special thanks to the organizing committee, teaching and non-teaching staff, and also the technical team who supported continuously for and coordinating for conducting this webinar. So our heartfelt thanks to our students for their participation, for their active participation. So with the warm words and a kind message, we move to the end of today's seminar. Thank you so much. Thank you one and all. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Sir, if you permit me, there is a question in the YouTube.
Yeah.
Please
Mr. Rajapasar has asked a question. What is the impact of digital education system on health and how can we overcome it?
What is that? No, please repeat.
What is the impact of digitalization in education system and how it affects the health and how to overcome it?
Sir, digitalization, it is alternate. It is only a substitute, I can say that. Okay, for example, in this pandemic situation, we all acquainted with online education. But we are feeling that the physical contact, I mean, how we are there in physical classroom, that is entirely different from this online mode. Okay, online mode, it is only particularly schooling for higher secondary, I mean 11th, 12th, other class children, okay, they can ask. But the children from 1st class to 10th class, they are missing the peer group learning. You see, in education, peer group learning is more important. Children learn from their friends and families, so many things. And in the school is a place where they can learn all these things, but that is they are missing in this digital education. Okay, digital education, it is just as an, it is, we can utilize as an aid for our teaching. Okay, even in school is when school is going on, at that time also we adopted this digital education. Some of the things which we cannot show in classroom, we can show them through this using YouTube, whatever it is, internet and all. But only thing is we are missing the physical contact. It matters a lot. Okay, no system can replace the actual teaching system which is going on at present. That's my feeling. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Okay, sir.
Sir, I think what we had is the wonderful peer group, and still maintain that peer group, as you all
Yes.
know, particularly our batch. And that is the major reason for success, I believe. Although, as you know, we are not very strong in subject. We just did like that without any big intentions or goals.
Yes.
But still, I believe the public relations and the speaking skills are now really helping us to grow to this level.
Yes. Yes.
So what you said is correct. I believe peer group, definitely that helps a lot, and the culture adopted are the key important things which we are missing in this online platforms. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
We'll
Bye.
be in touch.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.